Everyday superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the masculine and the feminine. We're going to get into some good games, so hold on. We're going to verge a little more so on the spiritual, potentially, as opposed to the psychological and the material today. But, if you don't necessarily subscribe to the ethereal and the spiritual and that which cannot be seen, don't worry, I'll make it nice and easy for you. It will be applicable. It'll allow you to perceive this game in a different position, right? Truth be told, to be spiritual, you don't need to believe in God. You don't need to subscribe to a religion and so on and so forth. But you have to understand there are three planes of our existence. One being the material plane as to which we reside in, right? The physical realm. From there, I hope you understand there's a psychological plane, our conscious, our subconscious, how we interact with the world and how we each perceive reality. Okay? And then above and beyond that, on the highest vibration, that which in the Western world they in power try to diminish from us so we can just purely subscribe to the submission in a material plane, is the spiritual. It frees us from this planetary prison. So there's the three planes, and if you're not educating oneself on the highest of planes, you're going to be limited in your far sight across this game. So we're going to talk about sexual polarity, magnetic energy between the masculine and the feminine forces. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick search for you just so I can tell you the direct definition of polarity. It's the property of having poles or being polar. Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. The relative orientation of poles. So the state of having two opposite or contradictory tendencies, opinions, or aspects. In particular, we're speaking of aspects. Okay? Two opposite aspects that come together. Half and half, left and right, the sun and moon, gold and silver, fire and water, yin and yang. The masculine energy is rooted in the principle of direction, whereas the feminine provides the flow. Have you seen how that works? So the masculine directs, takes leadership, yet the feminine flows, are like water, are like emotion. The masculine energy grounds oneself. Feminine is receptive, emotional. And in being receptive, it receives. Take that as you will. Receives the penetration in the physical sense, receives the order in the masculine authoritarian position to the feminine submissive. And you can say, oh, you're being chauvinistic. We live in 2025 and whatnot. Okay, I'm here for that. I can hear you. There's a masculine and feminine essence within both parties, right? Albeit to a lesser extent, to a lesser degree, and to a detrimental degree, given that that man, that biological man, resides within his feminine to such a degree that that woman is forced into a consistent masculine position. That's not what her hard wiring has provided her to be. She needs to submit to a leader who can provide the life as to which she needs, right? That's evolutionary biologically correct. In order to do so, she can believe that man can look after the child and the family, can protect and go and garner the resources. Right? Why are all the CEOs male? Because they have the masculine principle embedded within them. It's not a matter of men being men and giving their friends jobs and stuff. There's a biological principle that underlines this. The polarizing of the energy creates a fertile, vital, and complementary environment for both humans to reside. When we are too similar, we create a comfort, yes, as she sees in us what she sees in herself, and in seeing that, it brings her defenses down. She's not threatened. It's not the worst place to be. You, as a man, don't want to be threatening that woman, but it doesn't allow her to project what she needs upon you. As you look at her, you see a mirror of yourself. And what you see in yourself is what you lack that she possesses. When you come together in union and engage as two become one, you become the perfect item. Okay? The masculine presence is grounded, decisive, calm, purpose driven, whereas the feminine is responsive, playful, emotionally expressive. When these two are allowed to be as they are, right? When you are not being burdened with the tag of being toxic in your masculinity, and she is not being burdened by the trauma infused dislike from the masculine for being herself as a feminine. Both can bloom together and stay together as they feel comfortable and align themselves as one. The masculine and the feminine in full bloom create the push and the pull dynamic. Tension and release heightens the emotional sexual connection. Okay? And when I say push and pull, that means as you are engaging over so long, there is going to be moments where you reside into your feminine state and she resides into her masculine, albeit momentarily. But that playful shape shifting of entity allows you to play in a sense, and that playfulness is regressive, and that regression into a playful like state allows you to both be children again. And in being children, you are rid of the societal pressures and needs and wants that have been pushed upon you without your consent. The golden age, albeit momentarily, exists whilst you perform in this performative manner. And this is where this push pull dynamic will be rendered irrelevant to some relationships where certain men will consume red pill content and believe that they have to be masculine 100% of the time. And as they are doing so, she gets bored of him because she wants to express her whole, and she can't do so if this man is consistently wearing the mask. And it is a mask, it's a persona of the most masculine, manly man of all time, 100%. It's overcompensation To be free, one must accept one's masculine and feminine energies and understand that she has a beautiful abundance of feminine energy within her, an endless spouting fountain, such as you have an endless, stoic, and present masculine within you, aside the duality of feminine energy. I hope you're following. You need to honor her. My apologies. You need to honor her and that femininity as is. You need to allow her to express her emotions, okay? Allow her to play. Allow her to be vulnerable without casting judgment. Don't go, oh, and be sick and tired of that woman being who she is, because the alternative is you go and get yourself a boyfriend if you want somebody who suits your values. Do you see where I'm coming from? We are two separate entities in this dance. So you must honor her as she is, and as you do so, she will submit to your fantastic masculine. Expansion and contraction is a polar opposite. The sun and the moon represents opposites. The sun being active, the giver of life. The moon being passive, manipulating the tides of the oceans. The oceans flow like emotion. What do we call emotion? Emotional motion. It's the feminine to the sun's masculine. The yin and the yang. Yang being the masculine, representing the white half. The white represents the light, whereas the yin represents the black side, the darkness. Once again, the sun and the moon, the day and night. Perfect duality and polarity coming together to create whole, the circle, the one, the dance of creation. As two become one, we create the third. What's the third? The child. What's the mother, the father, and the child? It's the three, it's the Holy Trinity. It's not necessarily dominance and submission. It's complementary energy that flows in harmony, okay? So this essentially translates into biological, psychological, spiritual, material. As both the masculine and feminine energies are honored, contrasted, and consciously exchanged, there's a deeper degree of engagement than she'll ever experience before in her life. Trust me, from experience, she's going to refer to you in ways men aren't referred to. She will speak to you and talk to you about how you're ethereal, how you are godlike, how are you not of this world. You will awaken a deep desire. You will awaken connection. You will awaken life within her divine feminine by portraying that which is the divine masculine, because you know yourself. You know your characteristics, your biological principles. You know your ancestral background. You know how that interlinks today. You understand the limbal brain and the primate that lives within your head. You understand that which you don't understand. And in so, you know all. You know that she is but a mirror of you. So you can't ever dislike that woman. And those men who go out there and tell you how to attract women, yet are derogatory towards the feminine, are but looking in the mirror and pointing the finger at themselves and projecting oneself upon that woman. That man that calls that woman a bitch in a derogatory fashion, to you as a man, not to her in a playful manner, but to you as a man to try to garner your affection, is only calling himself a bitch. Because that's the half to him he can't accept that resides in himself. Click like and subscribe.